All right. SUMO development update.
Yes. So it's been pretty slow. Last couple weeks, I was on vacation, and then last week was our work week. But Will landed some search improvements last week, and the graphs show like a nice performance boost. So we're pretty much like almost at the same performance that Sphinx was. So that's good, and we think we can go faster from here. So when we do a unified search result. So yeah, it's looking good. But other than that, I was reviewing Toby's patch for his autocomplete widget in the wiki, and the code looks good. I was just playing with it locally before I land that, but I think that will land soon this week, maybe today. And yeah, that's what I had.
I have a little bit to tack onto that, which is we've got a couple of changes we would like to, or adjustments, I guess, we would like to make to the current planning schedule. I don't think they'll in any way affect predictability, but they're designed to sort of avoid developer burnout. So we've got these things called sprints, and the thing is that they really are sprints. You know, if we do it unbroken, it's a bit of a grind. Combined with it's the first week of Q2, so hey, happy Q2, everybody. We are proposing that we would like to every 3 sprints, and starting with this week, a cool down week. I think all of the runners here will be familiar with you don't sprint constantly, you sprint, recover, sprint, recover. This is sort of a week to do spring cleaning, literally in this case, because it's spring. Maybe work on projects that aren't on the roadmap specifically. Ricky has in the past done some work with Backbone, and that's led to our stats dashboard, stuff like that. And the other is, I'm not exactly sure what percentage, but we would like to start a conversation about making sure that we have a breakout in each sprint of which beneficiaries are which, certain target percentages, and we don't have to hit those every week, but you know, certain percent of points in each sprint should be dev, certain should be user, certain should be contributor. That's not something that we'll always hit, but it's something that we'd like to keep in mind when we're doing sprint planning, which will come up in the next sprint planning meeting. Again, I don't think either of these are going to affect predictability at all, but hopefully they'll keep engineers from going completely insane over time, which is good.
Is this happening now? That are developers feeling the pressure, or?
Well, I don't think this exact moment, because we have had a couple of slower weeks, but it is something that we want to avoid. It has been a bit of a grind for the past quarter. So we're trying to be proactive and make sure that we have time to do things that aren't necessarily things we would put onto a roadmap, but are things that are good overall. Things like spring cleaning weeks, or, you know. Oh, hey, San Francisco. Any other?
So does that mean, yeah, in this case, does that mean that the, whatever it is, 2012.7, however you guys say that sprint starts next week and not tomorrow?
Ricky, you
That would
know
be
more of the calendar.
That would be, I guess, yeah, what we're proposing. But Kadir isn't here, so. So yeah, we gotta talk to Kadir tomorrow, I guess.
Yeah, that sounds.
Or whenever he's back.
He should be back tomorrow. Yeah, talk to him tomorrow. That would be my question anyway. he was already in the loop, but sounds like you should talk about it. But if that's what you need to do, then that's what you need to do.
Okay. That was all that I had, so I'm going to get back to other things here. But it was great to see most of you last week. David, sorry that you weren't feeling well and we couldn't sync up, and I will talk to you all later.
Yeah, see you in line. Sorry that I wasn't there. I was
Bye.
having a rough week.
I hope you're feeling better now.
Yeah, I'm feeling much better. Thank you. Okay. UX. Brom.
Yeah, hi. So last week I spent my time working normally from Jakarta and mostly did community stuff. Met with local Mozilla representatives. Mozilla sponsored a TEDx event last weekend, so that was pretty exciting. So I went and met with people and do all that good stuff. So on the UX front, what I did was two things. So one, we started collecting examples of product picker and search facets and navigation, like navigation patterns to use in the new SUMO. So basically, we're seeing how other sites do it, so that we don't repeat the same mistakes and we don't have to reinvent the wheel unless necessary. And the second thing that I did is what is it? The second thing that I did is deployed Susan's information architecture that she delivered, was her phase 2 deliverables. Kadir, I actually talked to Kadir a few weeks ago about this, about deploying the new information architecture into the existing SUMO to see, hey, is this going to be successful or not? I mean, there's only one way to know, is deploying it in the old design. So that's what I'm doing, and you can check it. The link is there on the wiki, on the meeting notes. I just updated it. But it's support.alizom.org, and it's not finished yet, but it should have all the 6 tasks along with all the links that Susan has recommended, link to download, link to system requirements, features, etc., etc. So, so hopefully I should be finishing that up this week, and also this week is I will be designing paper prototypes that Susan will test in a few weeks.
Cool. Hey, Bram, I have a couple questions as I'm looking at this right now. A lot of those links go right off of the support site. Is that that's how it's supposed to work?
I don't know. I don't know yet. So Susan's kind of recommend, because I actually asked her on this, and I asked her, hey, what about links that go outside? And she said, like kind of just do whatever you want to do as long as you get the right information. So, for example, on system requirements, we do have an internal page. But for all the other ones, right, we simply don't have all that information. But these are information that a lot of support sites have, a lot of support sites for software have anyway. Yep. So we should have it regardless whenever, regardless of whether we have it hosted on SUMO or just linked to another site that's hosted by marketing or someone. So we'll probably need to coordinate that with the other departments that they're gonna start seeing traffic from us, but it's kind of an expected things to do in a support site.
Okay.
Yep. What are the expected outcomes of this implementation? Are we gonna look to them with the same metrics that we were looking at the previous experiment, or do we have something else?
Yeah, to answer, I think we should be looking at the same metrics, So And plus, I think we should also look at, like the amount of questions on the forum. So I think that's going to be the most telling on whether this IA is going to be successful or not. Is if because what you see is that we now expose a lot more articles than we have before using these tasks. So, and hopefully that covers a lot, or at least enough articles to solve most people's problem, so that the question in the forum will either be reduced or be ones that are just super specific about things we don't have in SUMO. So I think that's one thing that's going to be pretty telling, I think, amongst other metrics.
Do we have a plan for that?
Excuse me?
Do we have a plan, or is it going to be an ad hoc measurement?
No, we don't have. I don't think we have. I don't think we have a flag or anything for that yet. So.
Okay. What do we need to measure this stuff?
You know what? I actually never measured the forum before. I just looked at data that people like eBay had kind of assembled. So I actually don't know how to do it, and I'll probably need eBay's help, and I'll probably need your help as well in making these links actually look pretty, right, and have pictures and all of that.
Right.
So, yeah. So these are just the start.
So eBay can't. Where are you?
I'm in
San
San Francisco.
Just like a chair. The camera's like pointing at the floor.
Oh, sorry.
It's funny. Can't we just continue measuring what we're measuring, and then when we make these changes, that we'll notice a difference in those same numbers that we're already tracking?
Sorry, can you say it again?
Yep. Can't we just keep measuring what we're measuring, and then when if we change all these pages, we'll notice a change in the things that we're already tracking?
Okay, the thing is that for the homepage experiment, I did an ad hoc tracking. Yeah, I'm not tracking those numbers on a day-to-day. So if we want to do something similar with this, either we do it as a long-term thing that because we're gonna start tweaking the IA or whatever, we should plan something for long-term, or if we just want to measure and say, okay, this is positive, we can measure for a couple of weeks now and a month later after the implementation. So like X amount of time before and X amount of time after, see if there is a change. And if there is a positive change, we validate that and we stop. Or we can have a more solid plan and script that to make sure that we're gathering that data every week. I don't think that it's necessary to do it every day, but at least every week. So those are my two proposals.
Okay.
Let's think if we're good. So I will go for a long-term solution if we are looking into tweaking the solution. If we're going to implement something and leave it there, let's go for an ad hoc solution.
Okay. Hey, Ricky, while you're here, I have a question about Alazam.
Yes.
Brahms link just reminded me. So, what should we be doing with work done on Alazam? So, like Kadir didn't think it was backed up, but apparently it is backed up. I mean, can we work on it and not have to save local copies of everything, or what should we be doing?
As far as I know, we shouldn't depend on that for, like, if you're doing stuff there, I think there should be like another copy of it. So Because
I mean,
because I'm pretty
can
sure that
can
IT doesn't have like the service level agreement they have with prod for those, right? So they could destroy it and it that's fine, right? And they would expect to redo it from prod or whatever. Like it's not prod, so it's not treated the same way by them.
so do we know what happened last week?
Uh, apparently somebody made a mistake, and I don't know the details. Like I guess like because those are shared databases, and I guess some other project was using like a read-only database to write, and then they tried to make I don't know, they screwed it up, and the database like got all, yeah, I guess it was gone afterwards. So, but we were
I
lucky to have
mean,
the backup so that we could restore it.
I mean, normally would there be any reason to erase things from your guys' point of view without saying, "Hey, we're gonna resync the database. Do you have anything important on there?"
We won't. I mean, I know Kadir asks, and other people have asked to do more regularly, like refreshing it from production, but we're not planning on doing that at all. So at least we're not gonna delete anything. Well, QA could potentially delete stuff with scripts or whatever, test scripts.
Okay.
So yeah, and if there's a bug, that deletes everything, but hopefully that won't happen.
Okay.
What I guess what I'm saying is IT, like, if something happens and it's gone, you can't like expect them to give that the same priority as prod, because it's just a staging setup. It's not something we should depend on.
Right. So here's an issue that 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 we saw on Friday, right, or whatever, that this caused for us. So for the most part, when we do stuff with articles on Alazam, it's like one off. I just want to see what this will look like. What if I wrote it like this? What do you guys think? Something, right? But in the case of like figuring out how the front pages are gonna look like, it includes lots of templates inside of pages and multiple levels of pages linked from. So you have to, like, for instance, Michelle, maybe you could say, like, on that mobile one that you did, it probably ends up being like 20 pages of things that you write out for all the different levels. And then, so it gets really cumbersome to back it up manually. Like, you can save each page as a text file, but that, of course, doesn't save any history. Like, oh, yeah, what did I change it from last time, right? And, like, quickly working on figuring out what a front page should look like, you can run into, if you're trying to save any kind of history, you run into hundreds of documents, and it becomes unwieldy. What can we...
So there's no way to do it on prod? Like, have, like...
No, not without changing the front page live and doing your half-baked experiments live on production.
What if you had a separate start page that you can experiment with that wasn't linked to on prod?
That could be a solution.
Sounds like we should come up with a good way to do this.
Yeah, it sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't try to engineer a solution in this meeting, but
In the meeting, but yeah, but anyway, I guess that's the problem that we're trying to solve. Figure out how to not have to back everything up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why don't you guys?
Okay. Something to think about.
Yeah, discuss this offline, and maybe or on IRC or something.
Yeah.
I guess
what works
for right now, Brahm, you should make local copies of all these pages because they look really good and there's
Yes.
a lot of links and
Right.
you don't want to lose this work again, right?
Yeah. because I did, right?
Yeah.
On
I know
what
you
is it?
did.
Yeah. So okay.
That's
Sounds
not cool. So yeah, I'm sorry that happened to you, and we had to sort of make a choice. Well, unfortunately, you edited on the same day this happened, and so if that's the case, you're going to lose your stuff because the backup is at 4 a.m. Even though the time zone you're in should prevent that, you still got
Right.
the shaft. So these pages look really nice, though. I mean, there's a ton of links. This is a lot of work to have gone through all these spreadsheets and done this. So thanks for doing this. I think it looks great.
Yeah. So I'm not done yet with adding all of the links, and I
Uh-huh.
think so. So I think the help that I will need, there are sort of just specific help that I will need, and one of them is to actually, on some of the pages you just see like 20 links or whatever, and they have all the links, but they're not helpful because there are 20.
Yeah.
So what we probably need is kind of group them into like, hey, here are some articles about firewalls, and here are some articles about this, and some articles about that, so that it's easy for people to navigate.
Yeah.
So like those navigation or topic pages could probably have some grouping
Bram,
and ordering.
maybe
Yeah,
we
go
can
ahead.
talk about that in a separate meeting, because I realized
Yeah.
that we're already 25 minutes into this meeting and we haven't even gone past UX. So it'd
Okay.
be good
Yep.
to try to move this meeting forward now.
Okay, sounds good.
So if you have specifics about the page that needs to be done, then let's set up a separate meeting and talk about that.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, do we have any roundtable items? All right, Firefox status update.
So right now there are a few somewhat semi-blowing up issues. Two, we do need knowledge base articles for, and the reason we need knowledge base articles is search isn't finding form threads right now, because anytime you type more than a couple words in, we end up with all knowledge base articles on the first page of search. We need one for type error components class CID, and the other one is your browser is blocking Flash. So those two we should get documented. Michael, we should probably sit down and figure that out.
Right. Like I don't know what those issues are. So
I will figure them out for you. I'm barely like I'm just doing an investigation for it. I didn't have much time for it last time.
Okay.
But that's basically the status. Is a couple issues are blowing up, and Firefox 12 is moving. I haven't looked into it much last week either.
All right, any questions? Michael and Cheng will sync up offline.
Yep.
Metrics. Kadir is obviously traveling today. So I'd say let's.
Can we look to the KPIs, or
Yeah,
because I think that we should evolve this part of the meeting to go through the KPIs, or at least highlight the whatever is new.
Yep.
94.4%.
Yeah.
Questions responded to within 72 hours on Thursday.
Right. We might actually be higher than that. So I think Ricky, you found the bug, but the bug is that we might be might not be counting threads that people didn't confirm, and so they never show up. So we shouldn't have counted them in terms of how many threads are total. So if we take those out, we might actually be higher. So we'll find out.
Higher than 96%.
I know. Because like 2 threads would totally impact this entire number, right? Because there aren't that many threads left.
I don't know what you mean, threads that aren't confirmed.
Oh, so after you post your question, and if you're a new user, you have to like go check your email and say I'm actually posting this question before it shows up on live.
Oh, okay.
And that you don't do that. It's not that many. At least that's what we think. Right. They're eventually deleted, so eventually it backfills correctly, but like I think after
3 days or 4 days, they're still alive. I'm not, you can confirm that with you, but
Yeah, I'm not sure about the timing, but yeah.
still trying to figure out how to. Oh, never mind. All right.
I think that the worrisome here is how in March everything went down in terms of KB contributors and so, foreign contributors. Because we were guessing that it was because it was month in progress, but we have lost a lot of people.
We lost about 9 people in March in forum. You talked about the knowledge base stuff, right?
Both of them.
There's not much change in the knowledge base, at least in English. There's some in non-ENUS, but that's
basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I'd like
could be
Roxana to
less.
be given a chance to respond to this because she's been
Right.
doing specific outreach to people. So
Yeah.
I don't think that we should have this discussion right now. We should wait until Roxana is back.
Yeah, I'm more worried about the forum in general, though.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know if it's because of the volume is lower. It could be correlated. Maybe it's just I can play with the numbers a little bit to see what's going on.
I mean, it might depend on how we define the word active, right? Like, if we say you need to do 10 threads and there aren't even 10 threads to reply to anymore.
Yeah.
Then, right? So, are we talking about this graph? Yeah. So it seems to be going in cycles. Yeah. I mean, it's unclear. What are you worried about? I don't get it.
I mean, we were getting up and suddenly we went down again.
Well,
so we just broke the positive trend.
Well, the trend has been broken, as far as I can see, it's been broken 3 times in cycles of 4 months.
Yeah.
Periodically. So I don't even know if this is reason to worry at this point.
No, it's not that I'm worried. It's just let's.
You said you were worried.
And maybe it wasn't the right word. Is that
Right.
I think that we should have an eye on it.
Okay.
Let's put it that way.
Just one.
We should have one eye on it. No, I agree. I mean,
reflection on the other, so I may lose the left eye soon.
No, you're absolutely right. We should keep an eye on this, but it looks to me like this might be going in cycles periodically. So I don't know if there's. We should keep an eye on it. But I mean, looking at the number of responded threads, I think that metric seems like the significant one right now, and that seems to be going the right direction at least. All right. Anything else we should talk about in the KPI dashboard here? Okay. Knowledge base.
Hey, so I've been thinking about this for a while. I think we need a coordination meeting. So I'm trying to set one up for Thursdays because that seems like the day of the week where I could get the most people with a spot on their calendar. And now it looks like I need to invite Brahm to it. I should invite, yeah. So I'll see. But the idea is, there's a lot of pieces. We've got some breaking issues. We got localization. We have mobile stuff that's got its like own thing. We have new services, maybe a marketplace at some point. So just one place where we can figure these things out, like how should we measure the front page things and save our work and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're proposing Thursdays?
I'm proposing Thursdays. I set up a thing. We could change that, but that was like the first time I could find that I think everybody had a blank spot on their calendar.
Yeah, I think Thursdays.
So we'll see.
I think Thursday's good. I think for me.
Okay.
Morning.
It could also be that, like, one of those things, if you can't come to every meeting, you can just add info to the wiki so that we can know what's going on.
Sounds
And
good.
this will
Do
be
you wanna-
weekly? Weekly or bi-weekly, Michael?
I'm thinking weekly.
Okay.
I don't know, or we'll try it and we'll see
I think-
if it's like, we'll do it every other week.
I think we could fill it right now for sure every week.
Yeah. At least through Firefox 13.
So are you looking to make a decision now, Michael, or are you just proposing this and are you making a decision in the Contributor forum, or what's the next?
I'm saying it's Thursdays unless people get back to me with, like, I can't ever do this. There's no way.
All right.
This is terrible.
Yeah, well, talk to, I don't know if anyone on the European team needs to be here, a part of that meeting, but if so, talk to.
Yep, I added them to the meeting. They had blank spots in their calendar, so we'll see. Crossing my fingers.
Okay.
It is 8 p.m., you know. Just.
Oh, wait, you proposed 8 p.m. on Thursday?
No, it's 11
No,
our time,
no.
but it's 8 p.m. for now.
Yeah, that's, well,
We'll see. But that might be why they have blank spots in their calendar, is what I'm saying.
yeah. Yeah, that's a little late, but.
Yeah. No, it's not 8 p.m.
It's +9.
It's 6 p.m.
I don't see the time. So
It's 11 a.m. our time.
I just see Thursday.
It's +9 from here, isn't it?
Oh yeah, 11 PDT.
Yeah, that's 8.
That's 8 a.m. 8 p.m.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
is.
it's at 9.
11 plus 9 is 9.
I've worked with David for a long time. I know how this number.
It's fine.
Well, okay.
Well,
I thought they were only 5 hours ahead of me, and it's 1 p.m. my time.
no,
All right, I'll look it up.
but yeah.
8 p.m. would be, yeah, that's 9 hours ahead of you guys.
Yeah.
9
We're 7 hours ahead of you, Michael, in Europe.
All right.
Not 5.
Yeah. The regulates it.
Okay, you'll get feedback, I'm sure. Maybe they are
Yep.
completely okay with it. Any other topics for today? All right, you guys know what to do. The goals are locked in.
Holy cow.
So,
Is that right, Michael?
what was that?
What? I said, holy cow.
Holy cow.
So it's 38 after. We started at like 6 or 7 after.
Yeah, we're done.
That's amazing.